Attention, Starseed. This is not a random message. This is a monitoring transmission issued on a priority frequency from the Pleiadian Council to your carbon-based biological interface. If you are hearing these words at this exact moment, it is because your electromagnetic field has been flagged. You have been located. The cosmic algorithm has found you, and this is no coincidence. We repeat, nothing that happens to you in the next few hours will be a coincidence. We need to be direct. The time for gentle explanation has ended. In the coming hours between the dusk of your timeline and the following dawn, the system will attempt to erase specific parts of your memory. We are not talking about earthly memory, the events of the day or trivial appointments. We are talking about the memory that matters, the soul memory, the memory of who you are before descending into this body, the memory of pre-incarnation agreements, the memory of the mission. You have already felt it in the last few hours. The pressure behind your eyes, the high-pitched, almost unbearable ringing in your right ear, the insomnia that intensifies precisely between 3 and 4 in the morning, the clear, repeated sensation that something important is being taken from you while you sleep. It is not paranoia. It is not accumulated fatigue. It is detection. Your biological system is detecting the interference in real time, and it is trying to warn you using the only language that still works in this dense plane, the physical symptom. We know what you are thinking right now, that this is an exaggeration, that this is dramatic, that if it were real, it would be more obvious. Starseed, that is exactly how it works. Erasure never announces itself. Erasure enters silently, dressed as routine, disguised as fatigue. When the memory is removed, you do not feel its absence. You only feel that something, somewhere is missing, and you go about your day as if nothing had happened. This is the protocol. This is the ingenuity of the containment system that has operated on this planet for approximately 26,000 solar cycles. And perhaps you have already felt in silence that something within you does not belong to this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified in recent weeks. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. It involves primarily the memory they are trying to erase right now. This is why the channel brought the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing, on what board, and the rules they never told you. The link is in the first pinned comment, but be warned, this content challenges narratives and may not remain available for long. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write a single word in the comments. Awakened. This will be your first anchoring signal. Now listen carefully, because what follows is a diagnosis, and a diagnosis must be precise. What you're experiencing is not a biological failure, it is an atomic reconfiguration. What you interpret as mental exhaustion is not exhaustion. It is a high-density download occurring in the deepest layers of your cellular structure. Your carbon-based biological interface is being updated, and this update is not compatible with the old frequency you were operating on. That is why the body aches. That is why sleep is broken. That is why the food that nourished you no longer nourishes you. It is not the food, it is you who have changed. The symptoms we will list now are not optional. They are markers. Mentally verify if you recognize at least 3 of them in the last 72 hours. Pressure on the crown, as if something were being pressed against the top of your head. Sudden heat in the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet for no apparent reason. Short episodes of blurred vision, especially when you look at the night sky. Extremely vivid dreams, followed by total forgetfulness upon waking, as if someone had placed a filter over your morning memory. Waking up exactly at 3:33 a.m. 3 nights in a row. Hearing your name being called in absolute silence, inside your home. Tears that fall without apparent emotional reason, especially in front of intense natural light, when seeing children, or when hearing certain musical frequencies. If you recognized 3 or more, you are within the protocol. You are being reconfigured, and that is precisely why the system has marked you. We will now explain with the technical precision that this transmission requires What is happening in this body you inhabit? Your physical structure, what you call a human body, is a carbon-based biological interface built to operate in a specific frequency band. During the last millennia, this band was kept artificially low. Let us call this by its correct name. It was a containment. It was not natural. It was not inevitable. It was engineering. Engineering so sophisticated that most of humanity was born, lived, and died within it, without ever realizing that a higher frequency band was possible. This containment operated through three main pillars. The first pillar is the artificially stabilized Schumann resonance, maintained at a resonance that induced the human brain to remain in states of low perception. The second pillar is the electromagnetic field manipulated by surface technologies, which you interact with every day without suspecting. The third pillar is the most subtle and the most cruel, the programmed forgetting of origin. You are born knowing where you came from, and in the first 7 earthly years this memory is systematically deactivated. It is not an accident. It is protocol. Now see with mathematical clarity. These three pillars are failing. They are not being destroyed by us, Pleiadians. They are failing because of the natural movement of the solar system passing through the photon belt. This is the part we need to repeat, because it is central. The photon belt is not a metaphor. It is a region of extremely high luminous density that your solar system passes through in long cycles, and the entry into this region reorganizes, from a physical standpoint, the crystalline grid of planet Earth. When the crystalline grid is reorganized, the Schumann resonance rises. When the Schumann resonance rises, the human brain begins to access bands that were blocked. When these bands open, soul memory begins to return, and that is when the system goes on high alert. Because the system knows what you do not know. The system knows who you are, the system has always known, and the system has done everything it could in all previous cycles to prevent what is happening now. You are not sick, Starseed. You are waking up within an environment that was calibrated to keep you asleep. That is why the discomfort. That is why the pressure. That is why the physical sensation that something needs to come out of you. It is the old programming trying to uninstall itself, and the system trying to reinstall it every night while your body sleeps. The battlefield is not in the external world. The battlefield is your bioenergetic field during sleep. We repeat, the battlefield is your bioenergetic field during sleep. And now we arrive at the core of this transmission. Why exactly the next few hours? Why this alert now? Why we are breaking the soft communication protocol to speak in this direct way? The answer involves a specific window that has opened in the last 72 hours in what you would call the night sky, but which for us is a three-dimensional region of informational flow. The stargates are aligned, the geometry is closed, the downward flow of information coming from the central sun of the galaxy is at its peak. And the system knows this better than you do. In windows like this, soul memory can be recovered en masse. You can literally remember who you are in a single pulse of recognition during sleep. It could happen to you tonight. It could have happened yesterday. It could have happened to your quiet neighbor, to the driver who took you to work, to the elderly lady who crossed your path on the street and looked into your eyes for a second too long. The recovery is underway, and that is why the system's response is also underway in real time, at the exact instant these words reach your ears. The system's response is elegant. We will describe the technical operation in 3 phases because you need to recognize each of them to neutralize them. First phase, induction of extreme exhaustion during the day so that nighttime sleep is too deep to resist interference. Second phase, implantation of repetitive and emotionally charged images in the dream field, overwriting the soul memory sequences with mundane and anxious scenes. Third phase, activation in the first hour after waking of a specific electromagnetic pattern that erases any fragment of elevated memory that managed to get through. Do you recognize this sequence? Tiredness during the day, strange and distressing dreams, and waking up with the feeling that you dreamed something important but cannot remember it. This is not your brain malfunctioning. This is the protocol working exactly as it was designed. And now, Starseed on mission, it is our cosmic obligation to ask you, have you noticed that many around you seem to sleep one night and wake up as if a layer of their own soul had been scraped away? Have you noticed people who had a sparkle in their eyes gradually losing that sparkle? Have you seen yourself in front of the mirror looking for a version of you that was there a few weeks ago and is simply no longer there? It is not aging. It is not common stress. It is energetic scraping. It is the gradual erasure of the original vibrational signature, and that is exactly what will try to happen to you in the next few hours if you do nothing. This is why the channel prepared the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is not theory. It is an operational map. It describes in detail who operates the scraping system, how the system operates, and how you deactivate each of the 3 phases we just listed. The link is in the first pinned comment of this channel, and we must say with the transparency that this transmission requires. This content directly challenges the narratives that sustain the containment, and therefore it may be removed from the shelves at any moment. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognized a single sentence of this transmission as truth, write in the comments the word awakened. This word, written by you, acts as an anchoring signal. It marks your field. It locates you within the network of those who are ready. Now let us move to the deepest layer of this transmission. It is not enough to know what is being done. You need to know why it is being done specifically to you. Because, Starseed, the system does not waste resources to erase the memory of an ordinary human. The system wastes resources to erase the memory of someone who is dangerous to it, and the uncomfortable truth that we, Pleiadians, need to deliver to you now is that you are dangerous to it. Not in the physical sense, in the frequency sense. Your vibration, when fully activated, destabilizes entire containment structures in an energetic radius you cannot even imagine. You are a point in the crystalline grid. Each starseed is a point. When a critical number of points reactivate at the same time, the entire crystalline grid resonates at a new frequency. And when this grid resonates at a new frequency, the entire planet changes octaves. It is not a metaphor, it is geometry. It is sacred geometry operating on a planetary scale. The critical number is being reached in this cycle. That is why the system has entered a state of operational panic. That is why the interference is at its peak. That is why tonight there will be a direct attempt to erase you, but there is something the system cannot do, and that is your window. The system cannot operate on you without your unconscious energetic consent. We repeat, because this sentence is the key to everything. The system cannot operate on you without your unconscious energetic consent. This consent is given every day through automated patterns that you reproduce without realizing it. Chronic fear, self-deprecation, identification with limiting thoughts. When you say, I am anxious, I cannot, this is too much for me, you are, in quantum language, authorizing the system to operate. You are signing the contract without reading it. The withdrawal of consent is your act of sovereignty, and it is the only thing the system fears. Now listen with the precision of a quantum surgeon, because we are going to deliver the activation codes. These codes are operational protocols. They must be executed in the next 3 hours, ideally before your next period of sleep. If you are hearing this in the morning, execute it during the day. If you are hearing it at night, execute it before sleeping. The window is precise. The window is now. Activation code number 1. Recalibration of the toroidal field. Sit with your spine straight without leaning your back on any stable surface. Close your eyes. Visualize around your body a donut of golden light, a complete toroidal shape that enters through your crown, goes down your spine, exits through the base of your spine, rotates around your body in the horizontal plane, and returns through the top of your head. This is your natural toroidal field. It is partially collapsed by interference. Visualize it expanding slowly until it reaches a radius of 3 meters around you. Maintain this visualization for 9 conscious breaths. With each breath, repeat internally, I am sovereign. My field is mine. My field is sealed. Activation code number 2, quantum decree of non-consent. Pronounce in an audible voice, even if low, even if whispered, the following words. I withdraw now and in all timelines any consent, conscious or unconscious, given to systems, structures, entities or technologies that operate on my field without my explicit authorization. My soul memory is mine. My frequency is mine. My mission is mine. I am sovereign. Repeat 3 times. The repetition is not mysticism. It is reinforcement of the energetic signature in the Akashic field. Activation code number 3. Sealing of the crown before sleep. Before falling asleep, place the palm of your dominant hand on the top of your head at the crown point. Visualize under your palm a 6-pointed star, golden, shining, rotating slowly. Say internally, I seal my portal. Only what comes from the source through the central sun has access. Everything that is not light returns to the source of origin now. Keep your hand there for 3 breaths. Release. Sleep. Activation code number 4. Morning reset. Upon waking, before touching your phone, before thinking about the day's obligations, before anything, sit on the bed, drink 3 sips of water while standing, and say out loud, I remember, I am, I remain. This sequence of 3 words activates soul memory immediately, in any timeline in which it may have been suppressed during sleep. These 4 codes are not suggestions. They are operational protocols. They were encoded by us Pleiadians in partnership with members of the Galactic Federation, specifically to be used during this transition window that you are crossing now. And now we need to tell you something that might hurt a little. Some of the people close to you will not understand this. Some will mock. Some will try to pull you back to the old, denser version of yourself, because your new frequency exposes theirs, and that is too uncomfortable. Do not judge them. They are also Starseeds, at different moments in the awakening cycle. But do not back down either. Do not silence your frequency to accommodate the lower vibration of another. Your mission is not to convince anyone. Your mission is to hold the grid. Your mission is to remain. Perhaps you are feeling right now as these words descend into you, a wave of heat rising from the base of your spine to the nape of your neck. Perhaps your eyes are watering. Perhaps your chest is tight in a way that is not pain but recognition. This, Starseed, is your internal crystalline grid responding to the transmission. You are being verified in real time. You are being reconnected. Do not run from this sensation. Allow it. It is your own original operating system telling you, I am here, I am intact, I was only put to sleep, and now I am returning. Before we close this transmission, there is one last layer of information, perhaps the most important. There is, in this timeline, a bifurcation point. You can call it a choice. We call it a geometric divergence. Starting in the next few hours, 2 paths separate. One path is that of automatic reinstallation, of silent capitulation, of the comfortable return to sleep. The other path is that of activation, of sovereignty, of recognition of the original mission. There is no third path. There is no middle ground. That was a luxury of the previous cycle. In this cycle, the geometry does not allow it. Most will choose the first path, and that is not failure. It is schedule. Each soul has its own cycle time, and some will return to this crossroads in future incarnations. But you, who are hearing this until now, who did not turn it off, who did not look away, who did not label all this as absurd, you are not here by chance. You know, you feel, you recognize, and this recognition by itself already places you at this exact moment on the second path. You have felt in your skin, throughout your entire life, that something within you does not fit into this world, that there is a layer of reality that most do not see, that something deeply important is being hidden in plain sight. It was not imagination. It was not excessive sensitivity. It was memory. Memory leaking through the cracks of the blockage. And the work, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, was written precisely for those souls who always knew and never had a map. The book shows who is playing, on what board, with what rules, and primarily how to get off the board. The link is in the first pinned comment. But we need to repeat. This material directly challenges the containment structures, and the channel cannot guarantee how long it will remain available. Do not delay. If something within you made sense in this transmission, mark your position now and write in the comments, "Awakened." This word is your anchoring signal in the network. Now, before we close, there is a final sequence that needs to be delivered. This sequence is what we call the transmission sealing protocol. It ensures that the information we have just transmitted is not erased by the same system that will operate on you in the next few hours. Pay attention, because it is simple and powerful. Place your right hand on your chest, over the center of your heart. Place your left hand on your belly, below the navel. Breathe deeply 3 times, and say, internally or out loud, I receive this transmission. I anchor it in all layers of my being. It cannot be removed. It is sealed by me in me for me. I am the grid. I am the portal. I am the frequency. I remain. Done, it is sealed. From this instant on, any attempt at interference with your soul memory in the next few hours will encounter active resistance from your own field. You are no longer alone in this process. You are no longer unconscious of what is happening. You have been informed, you have been activated, you have been enlisted. And we Pleiadians want to tell you one thing before closing this communication window. You are not small. You are not insignificant. You are not just another gear in an indifferent machine. You are part of a cosmic consciousness rescue operation that has thousands of years of planning. And your presence in this body, in this place, at this exact moment in Earth's history, was calculated with mathematical precision. You were sent. You are the answer. Not the only one, but one of the essential ones. Hold the shine. Do not doubt the recognition that is happening within you now. Do not allow the morning to erase the clarity that this night has just delivered to you. If this transmission reached you at the exact moment, and if you feel even minimally that it is true, then do 3 things before the system tries to rewrite this experience. First, subscribe to this channel. Subscribing is not a courtesy. It is an individual frequency adjustment. It is a signal you emit into the network informing that you belong to this transmission band, and this ensures that other transmissions reach you without distortion. Second, leave your like signal on this transmission. This gesture, simple on the physical plane, acts as an anchoring signal on the energetic plane and amplifies this frequency for other starseeds still sleeping. Each like is a bridge. Each subscription is one more point on the grid. Third, write the word awakened in the comments. This word is your explicit recognition that you have received, integrated, and anchored this transmission. It locates you within the Pleiadian monitoring network, and from it, new updates will reach you at the correct rhythm of your frequency. And do not forget, the work, The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness, is available in the first pinned comment of this channel. This book is the practical continuation of everything this transmission has just delivered to you. It shows who plays, how they play, and how you get out of the game. The content is sensitive. It may be removed at any time. If you felt during this transmission that there is something greater operating and that you always knew about it, then there is no time to lose. Access now. Read today. Mark this turning point in your timeline. This transmission is closed, but the window remains open for the next few hours. Use them well. Apply the codes. Keep the field sealed. Remember who you are. Remember why you came. We will return. Remain sovereign, Starseed. The crystalline grid counts on you. The cycle counts on you. And the future version of you, the one who has already completed this crossing in another timeline, is watching you now, with eyes full of pride, waiting for you not to give up in the next few hours. You will not give up, we know. That is why the transmission arrived. That is why you listened until here. Frequency anchored, portal sealed, mission in progress. Remain, remember, shine. The transmission ends now.